Hello, one is a Psycho Rider Rage here, bringing you, well, I never thought I actually would do this in a while, but how Nway can fix certain characters. After playing Zeo Pink, I think she needs a rework. A lot of her kit is not fucking great anymore. Like, her kit is so bad. This character is only good for like maybe one or two levels. I would say like one or two stages until you start getting way up there, and then you realize that she's not that great anymore. And I believe she needs a lot of key fixes on certain moves. A lot. But we're gonna go training and I'll see what I mean. But yeah, Catherine is just not. I feel like Nway does not give a shit about Zero Rangers. Zero Rangers were supposed to be the most powerful, the stronger than ever. But they made him feel like shit in this game. The only good one's Adam, and that's sad. But honestly, I would legit like this is her best move she got, in my opinion. I would say if you're gonna make a breaker, make this a little bit more faster. Now here's the thing: I would get rid of the counter in general. Get rid of the counter. I think I will make Disco Spin into a breaker, because at least a breaker will make more sense than a freaking like a counter move. It's a 5 cost. If you're gonna make a counter move a 5 cost, why make it a 5 cost for a common? That's not that great. This move, I think, like I said, just speed it up. And in that case, make this a breaker. It's slow. It does what it needs to do, because it doesn't do nothing after that. Let's see. Like with a breaker, it'll be fine. I think give that a breaker, and give this a breaker. Make maybe Fireball a strike, since the projectiles are strikes. I would just make this into a strike. Like that's the only time to do it, because they have enough time. But I feel like this move is such a slow move, they could block that. They could block it. This move is when you have it, such a bad move to have, because like you hit this, they're gonna block it. That wastes your whole damage. So I would make that a breaker. Make this a strike. And make this into a breaker instead. Just switch some things around. Make it 2 breaker, 2 strikes. Because like this character cannot do much on ladder. Like every time I was playing the match, I was stuck with Disco Spin, and I can't do it because I know they have blocks. So if I hit that, they just block that. You can't even do nothing after that. At least with a breaker, it makes more sense. There's another thing I want to talk about, and that's the bug she has. Let me see if I can get dagger on assist. There we go. Like that move. See what I mean? Like for pop-up, like if you do that move, it doesn't stagger them. It doesn't do nothing. It just glitches them out. And that is not good. For the first time I get a bot that doesn't do anything. That is crazy. Like, that's fine, but like, dagger on assist does not work with it. Let's try that again. Maybe if I... Okay, now it does. So it's a certain angle that does that shit. Well, yeah. Like I said, I will change Disco Spin to a 5 cost breaker. If you're gonna have it a 5 cost counter, replace it to a breaker instead. I think a breaker will be a lot more better, because that's the strongest move. A breaker will make more sense. I think Fire Cloud should be a strike instead of a breaker. And I think, like I said, Fame Pump should be a breaker instead. A 2 cost breaker would not be that bad. Like, you have a Fame Pump to be a 2 cost, if like that, a breaker, and a Disco Spin as a breaker, that'll be fine. Disc Spin, my bad. Not Disco, Disc Spin. Because if not, you're gonna have to at least speed up Fire Cloud, and at least speed up Fame Pump, because Fame Pump as a strike is a horrible strike. It starts off so slow, your opponents can block that. Like, it's situational at times where it gets you killed. And at least making it a breaker would be making more sense in a way. Because they try to run that, if they try to block that in time, they get hit with a breaker instead. This spin should be a breaker as well. I think it would be way better than a counter move, in my opinion. It's in a fast. Think of Angel's strike, but as a breaker. That's what disco spin should be, a breaker coming at you like that. And fire cow should be a strike instead. Makes more sense. Because a breaker, it's like very slow to your opponents because legit strike you. Most times you're stuck in certain scenarios where you don't have the moves you want. But yeah, I think honestly these changes will be a lot more better. Or what would you guys do? What would you change to make Zeo Pink a lot more better? Because obviously all the Zeo characters are trash except for Adam. Adam was the only one that feels okay, and then obviously Zeo Tommy right after that. But I don't know. I think I would change Catherine a lot more better. But that's my opinion, though. Well, I want to see what would you guys change. Comment down below what would you fix to make Catherine good for a common, or they should just rework her entirely. It's a Psycho Rider saying peace.